Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about what I mean when I say I feel good about 70 to 80% of the time. Because I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what I mean when I say this. So before I get into any more details, time for the intro. When people ask me how I'm doing with IIH, I often have a more optimistic tone with them and say, well, things are hard, they come in waves, but I feel good about 70 to 80% of the time. Now, depending on the type of person you are, you probably interpret this a little bit differently depending on how you interpret different types of information and the way you look at the world. But I can see a lot of people mixing up exactly what I mean when I say this. And what this percentage means. This percentage is not based upon any data. It's not based upon something that I've done to figure this out. It is a really rough estimate, which is why I can sometimes give a very wide range on how good I'm feeling at that particular spot in time. So right now, I say I feel good about 75 to 85% of the time. It might even be as low as 70, but we'll say 70 to 85% of the time. So, what does it mean when I say this? This means that of the time that I live throughout my days in a particular month, I am unable to what I would consider be able to live a normal routine the rest of the time that I say I'm not feeling good. So let's say it's 75% that I'm feeling good. Well, that means I have about 25% where I feel like I'm not functioning at a level that is good enough for me to be able to maintain a daily routine and do daily tasks that I need to do in order to get things done. So, a write-off for me means I am pretty much either stuck on the couch or stuck in bed watching videos. It is not the ideal thing, and I often have to make up for quite a bit depending on the day that this happens because I have very specific things that I do each day for each of my different social media platforms. Without a schedule, it's very, very hard to be consistent, especially for me because if I don't have a particular schedule, I'm more likely to procrastinate on doing the next task. So I am a person who really, really needs due dates. So this is why I have the schedule that I do and have had a schedule on my YouTube channel since I started. Having due dates is something that is really, really effective for me. For others, it doesn't do much, but for me, it works really well. I am going to insert an infographic of a pain scale that I think is relevant for those of us with IIH. This isn't the pain scale that you'll be asked to rate on when you go to the ER, but this is the type of pain scale that I like to use to describe how I'm feeling with IIH. So this pain scale is again 0 to 10, just like the regular pain scale. For me, 0 to 4 means a fairly good day. 0 to 2 almost never happens. 0 to 2 is a day without any pain whatsoever. This means absolutely no headache. This means absolutely no tenderness in my head. I'm not going to say that these days never happen, but they're extremely, extremely rare. They might happen once every few months or so. They're not very, very common at all. And when they do happen, it's like hitting a IIH lottery because it very rarely happens. 3 to 4 for me is the pain is hardly noticeable unless I'm paying attention to it. 3 to 4 means that I can function pretty much normally, but for me, if I pay attention to it, like if I have a little bit of pain in my head and I start paying attention to it, then it can feel worse than the 3 to 4. So for me, this is where the meditation really, really helps me, is this 3 to 4 pain. 5 to 6 is moderate, and this is where the pain is a little bit stronger than what it was at 3 to 4, but it's starting to interfere with some of the higher end activities. So these are the days I may not be able to get in certain activities, such as more intense workouts, so I have to do a lighter intensity workout. 5 to 6 is kind of where it starts out when my symptoms start to come on. So this is where it usually starts. Now I'll get into 7 to 8. 7 to 8 is often means that I cannot do any of my normal activities to the point where it is interfering with almost everything. This could even be interfering with my ability to use screens. At 8, this usually means that I have to stop doing absolutely everything, but I'm still able to come upstairs and be a little bit functional. 9 to 10 very rarely happens to me. I haven't had this happen for a couple of months, but I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, just like 0 to 2, because it can. 9 to 10 means that I am stuck in bed, unable to pretty much function at all. This is where I was a few months ago when my migraines were really, really bad. If you're new to my channel, I do have IIH and migraines. The IIH right now is fairly well under control, so it is thought that I am mostly dealing with migraines, but this scale applies to migraines and IIH. I think of this scale as a how am I functioning today rather than an actual pain scale. It's usually the pain that is resulting in me having to cut back on activities, so this is why I kind of can equate them to both of them. I very rarely at this point get over 8 because things are fairly well under control. And if I start to have more days that I'm unable to get things done or really have a hard time functioning, I know that there's something that's probably going on. I spend about 70 to 85% of the time right at this point in time. This could change at any minute, but right at this point in time, I spend about 70 to 85% of the time between 0 to 4. During my periods, that's usually when I roll up to around 7 or 8. But there can be other times during the month too that I can experience an 8. And these waves of symptoms, as I call it, are quite unpredictable, and so they can happen at any point in time. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if you've gotten this far in the video, don't forget to subscribe. Turn your notifications to all so you never miss another video. Be sure to give this video a like. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone.